Yeah.
Give me time and any old excuse, and I can make that happen.
It's this Star Trek Adventures beach episode.
Well, you know, there has to be a there's usually a swimsuit edition.
Hmm.
So, you know, could happen.
Oh my.
All you get of Tavish's swimsuit edition is the sign of is a close up of a hyperspanner, probably. I ain't posing in no beach wear.
I can imagine the same kind of suit.
The closest you get to Tavish in beachwear is them on a beach trying to throw a hyperspace into the water.
Giving hyperspanners.
And then yelling at the water to get back to work.
Work harder. I don't know, with Trasa it's like, oh, so, wow, Klingons really do have ridges everywhere. Hey, oops. Let's see, who've we got? We've got almost everybody, don't we? Mark had to...
Yeah, I'm eating.
Oh, you're muted because you're eating. Right, okay, gotcha.
We've got everyone, right?
We've got everybody, yes, because...
in the field.
Yes, indeed.
Yep. Now I'm wondering how we're gonna play Tavish.
Well... yeah. We'll just see how we go. Right then, folks. Just give us a quick jump. Well, now, unfortunately, the intro video is now out of date, isn't it? But I'm going to play it anyway for nostalgia's sake, so we'll see you in a couple of moments, folks. Because everyone's rank is now different. Well, not everyone's, but most people's ranks are now different. There we go. Hi, folks. You can hear me over the video, can't you? Hello folks and welcome along to the continuing adventures of the USS Combs. I am MJ the GM and I will be your games master for the next couple of hours. With me are the majority, but not all, of the Combs crew. So without any further ado, let's get you away from my silly face and get you to what you actually want to see, which is, Sirenscape apparently. As we quickly move off to what we should be looking at. Right, so what have we got here? We have got... We should be showing you Firefox. Whoops-a-daisy. Let's get that. Right then, okie dokies. There we are. That's a little bit better if we just move Brave down. There we go, cool. Show you what you actually want to see. Star Trek. Right, okie dokes. Apologies for that little mishap. Nevertheless, we are on brand new episode and different ranks and different appearances to some folks, so... But before we get there, I first want to plug our usual plug, the Utter Crisp Gaming.
Hello, same as usual for me at the moment, thank you. Just released a new video last month on Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Feel free to go check that out. Working now on the next video for Dragon Quest 3. Looking to get that out, I think, by the end of the year, realistically. And then after that, we'll be cracking on with the sequel to Road Trip Adventure. But yeah, that's all for the time being for me, really.
Thank you, Chris. Okie dokie. So, this next episode takes place a whole 2 weeks after the last one, which, if everyone remembers, was where folks got promoted. So, we've had a bit of a change on the USS Combs. So then, we finally have, well, Liz, is it Captain Trasa or Captain Hopkins? How does she prefer to be known as these days?
Both.
Both, okay. Can't choose, go for either. Cool. And we, of course, have our new first officer, which is our former operations officer, Commander Phlesc, which means Transporter Chief Zonvagor has been promoted to Chief Operations Officer. Otherwise, most things remain more or less the same. Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang has gone back to being Chief Helm Officer rather than First Officer, so some folks go back to where they were, some folks remain the same, and some folks are now in higher positions of authority. And as a result, I now need Liz to read me out a certain something, which I've just sent you now over Discord.
First off, Captain's Log, Stardate 5066.0.1. A priority message from Starfleet Command has deployed us to the Alpha Toryui system to rendezvous with the USS Morgam to assist in evacuating a team of archaeologists and several unique artifacts from below the surface of the Second World.
Okies. So that's why we are here. But just before we get stuck into that, is there anyone that had anything that they wanted to continue on science projects wise? Because I think for the most part we had done them. Correct me if I'm wrong, however. Did we still have Gerkow's pheromonal scanner to do?
Oh yeah, we still did.
Yeah, they went down the wrong path the first time.
We have successfully completed Phlesk's project, which was the AI repair droids for the ship, which thankfully haven't had to be deployed yet, so we've got that. And because we don't have Dave to be Tavish, we can't really go on with his continued attempt to develop an actual proper working displacement activated spore hub drive, so for the moment we're just going to put that on hold. So all we have to do really is Gerkow's pheromonal scanner and training the Targ, apparently.
Yep. I also had to give myself the commanding officer role. I still had the executive.
Yes, thank you for that. I missed out that. Does Phlesc have executive? Yes, he does. I've at least changed Phlesk's one to have that, so that's cool.
Had two executive. That was the funny part.
Yes. Okay, so let's go with Gerkow's pheromonal scanner. So the last time you went with psychology, now you are doing endocrinology. Which I believe isn't something anybody has actually got as a focus, so it's essentially open to whoever you think you want to help along the endocrinological path.
I guess there's probably the EMD, maybe biology or internal medicine would apply.
Biology might be a good starting point, yeah, sure. Let's go with that. Which means Dr. Sot... not so much Dr. Sot, actually. Dr. Sot is trauma surgery, emergency medicine, so no endocrinology. Nurse Uro. Uro's got xenobiology, and virology, but not biology. So yeah, it does look like the EMD is going to be your best bet there. Certainly. Okay.
Yep.
If I could get Chris to be the EMD then, please. Reason and biology. Reason and medicine with biology as the focus.
One dice, I take it.
One dice, yes, because it's Gerkow's project, so Gerkow's the lead.
Oh, good.
Oh, well, that's a good start.
Legion of Honor. Legion of
Wait,
Honor.
they
Does
don't
he
have
have? Yes,
assistants.
okay. That's the
No, they
EMD's
don't.
one and only Legion of Honor. Off to a good start this morning. Go on then, Gerkow. Dazzle us.
Reason and medicine as well, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Well,
Endocrinology is
this will
definitely-
be. This is going to be terrible.
Going at it with the right attitude, I see. 17 and 11, no successes. Okay. So far, no real progress. Can't really get this side of the project off the ground. So, at the end of this, does that mean you still want to pursue endocrinology, or do you want to branch off to another one?
Let's branch off to another one.
Okay. So, which one? You've done psychology, tried endocrinology, had no real luck with that. There's xenobiology, pheromonal sensors, and cybernetics left.
Xenobiology. I've got that
Xenobiology.
at least.
Alright. But next time then we can go on to xenobiology. Awesome source. Right, so the one thing we've got left is training of the Targ. Captain. My captain. Well, so it's essentially anyone that's got any kind of animal handling or animal training, that kind of jobby.
Which I don't think anyone has.
So it's going to be down to complete presence, really. Presence and command.
Yeah, I think I'll be able to give Counselor Sachs a try to make herself useful.
Okay. Who shall we have? You know what, Mark? You can be Counselor Sachs.
Oh no. I
Oh,
mean,
yes. Spoiling your perfect record. Anyway, that's going to be presence and command from Counselor Sachs and presence and command from the captain, who has 20. Starting as we
The
need
order
to
of-
go on.
Oh dear.
Order of the bad list.
Sure.
This is not. This is
And nothing
great.
from Sachs either. Okay, zeros all round.
This is just.
Not a good morning, no. Okay. So, no progress so far with training the Targ. Apparently it was a rather difficult day to be trying to train the Targ. Alright then. But other than that, the last 2 weeks have proceeded more or less the way they should do, which is your usual patrolling of zones, keeping to your allotted area, and listening out for anybody that needs any help at any point in time, which is why 2 weeks later you do, as the captain's log suggested, get a call to respond to an evacuation. So, let's deal with that. So you have been dispatched to the Alpha Toryui system.
All systems active.
As such, this is in the Shackleton Expanse, in case that wasn't already obvious. So, in the Alpha Toryui system, I'll just briefly pass us over to hopefully something that you can see. If not, I'll take care of that now. Bop.
Oh look, Darkness, our old friend is missing.
So, as the cones warps into the system, this is a 3-planet system, and you find the USS Mogami is already present. And the main star of the system is pretty much like you've been warned it is. It is A red star now in its final stages before it starts to collapse in on itself. As soon as you enter into the system, you do get the notification that there is an imminent incoming call for you from the Mogami. And before we get to that, Commander Gerkow. The USS Mogami is significant to yourself because the captain in charge of the Mogami is none other than Captain Ral Fortok, a fellow Tellarite who was the one who actually sponsored Gerkow for her application to Starfleet. In his words, we need more Tellarites in Starfleet.
That's straight we do.
But the Mogami therefore hails the combs, and you are put through. And on the main viewer comes the bearded, stern countenance of Captain Fortok himself. So, as a side note, I know you guys are usually used to me having some sound effects over my voice sometimes in order to represent folks over communications, but since upgrading to Windows 11, I cannot get voice mod to work anymore, so at least the satisfaction. So no more sound effects from over my voice.
At least not yet.
Well, version 3 of voice mod lags, shall we say. So unless you want to see my lips moving before you hear my voice, we're not going to be using voice mod for the foreseeable future. So, in any case, Captain, welcome to the Alpha Toryui system. At which point, Captain Fortok looks over to the side, over to the science, the science area. Commander Gerkow, how very nice to see you again.
And you too, Captain. Ha 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 ha.
What's with the voice?
I don't know.
You'll have
sorry,
to
what the heck
recognize
are
me, Commander.
I was going to say, did we have the Modiphius captain on this ship too?
Forgive me, do you like to be known by your first name or by your surname, Captain? It's known that Klingons sometimes like to be known by their first.
Whatever is easier for you, Captain.
Then I will go by your first, Captain Trasa. Thank you for responding to the emergency request. We have quite the situation here in the Alpha Toryui system at the moment.
Looks like it.
Well, let's bring you up to speed. I'd better bring in somebody else on this call. Patching you through now to Lieutenant Hal Thompson. There's a brief moment where the screen splits into two, and sure enough, a Starfleet officer of the operations, colouring, comes into view. A human. Captain Trasa of the USS Combs, I would like to introduce Lieutenant Hal Thompson, currently head of the Starfleet Corps of Engineers operation here in the Alpha Toryui system. Lieutenant Thompson? Thank you, Captain. And Captain Trasa, thank you for responding to this. How much do you know about the situation?
How much does she know?
Well, you were dispatched pretty much with the notice that there's an evacuation that needs to happen. Because apparently the main sequence star is showing very early signs of imminent collapse.
Synchronizing.
So you were the fastest and nearest ship to be able to respond as quickly as possible, so you were brought in to help the evacuation.
Something about the star collapsing early, and an evacuation needs to be happening.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, the science teams came to the system in order to run analyses on the star. It's apparently supposed to be a regular yellow star, but this star has shown signs of decay of its core well ahead of what's usual of a star of its youth, and has continued to be so for as long as it's been monitored. The civilian science team wanted to set up a monitoring station on the sunward side of the second planet in order to get a better reading on the star itself. Soon after they deposited themselves on the second planet, however, a geological survey of the planet managed to uncover evidence of tunnels and cave systems beneath the surface, which appeared to be artificial in nature. Sure enough, they discovered that there were artificially created tunnels and chambers and caverns within the substructure of the planet's crust that suggested a now absent ancient alien culture had constructed these systems beneath the planet, and so an archaeological team was brought in to investigate those. All in all, a lot more people than were expected on the initial foray. But apparently within the last week or so, the star has exhibited worrying bursts of activity, which have been echoed in geological instability on the planet. As such, they put in a request for emergency evacuation. The Starfleet Corps of Engineers, my teams, were called in to help disassemble the prefabricated buildings and all the equipment in order to assist with the evacuation as quickly as possible. Hence why Captain Fortok and the USS Mogami were called in to assist with that evacuation. However, we had estimated we had time to conduct the initial evacuation, packing up of all the equipment, stowage of all the data receptacles, and whatnot. But recent events, however, have convinced us that our timeline for evacuation is a lot smaller than was initially indicated. We are now reading further signs of decay within the star itself, which is throwing off a lot of electromagnetic interference and radiation in the system, which is causing further geological instability on the second planet, which means, well, we need help with the evacuation. Hence yourselves. Any questions? Captain Fortok looks over at Gerkow's direction. Come on, woman! You're supposed to be a science officer. Any questions? You're letting the side down here, Gerkow.
All
There are
Hopkins
no
is
questions.
thinking is
Incoming message.
that she probably knows what those alien sites are.
Really?
Yeah, she's thinking it's the same one she's found, that they found throughout the Shackleton Expanse.
Captain Fortok nods appreciatively at that. I'm assuming, of course, that Captain Trasa actually voices this out loud.
She would look at Gerkow.
Okay.
Gerkow. Commander Gerkow. Doesn't this sound vaguely familiar to the other sites we have located throughout the Shackleton Expanse?
It certainly
prefabricated.
sounds
Yeah.
familiar, but I think it's always best to confirm.
Yes.
Captain Fortok kind of squares his shoulders and puffs his chest out of that one. There we go.
Yes, that could very well explain the sudden decay of this star.
Well, that's all well and good, interjects Lieutenant Thompson. However, at this point in time, we need logistical support with the evacuation. So anything that the Combs crew can do to help us move all of the equipment and data sets and staff down on the second planet would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, we could help with the science team down in the archaeological site.
Well, interjects Captain Fortok. We currently only have shuttles working at the moment because any beaming carries extreme risk. The amount of electromagnetic interference in the system at the moment makes beaming a rather dicey affair. So we've had to relegate ourselves to frequent shuttle trips, which has obviously slowed down efforts. Your own shuttles will assist with that, of course, but again, it does limit the amount of material and personnel that we can evacuate at any one specific point in time. I'll have my communications officer send to you our current scheduling so that we don't end up crashing into each other, but for the moment, it's all hands on deck, as you might imagine.
Yes, I do agree.
So, unless there's anything else you want to bring up.
Nope.
Very well.
Well, once we get the schedules, we'll immediately start setting about having our shuttles join it.
Very good. I expect efficiency, Captain. The sooner we get this done, the better we'll be.
Wait.
Lieutenant?
And quickly and safely.
Indeed. Lieutenant Thompson, Captain Trasa, Commander Gerkow. May fortune favor the bold and the cautious as well. Fortok logs out,
Yes.
as does Thompson. Okay. So, what's the first thing you would like to start doing? I would suggest that your first officer, who is in charge of personnel, has to start really looking at who to start sending and coordinate with your chief flight officer to start sending shuttles down. So,
just a quick check: do we have as one of the ships Bonnet's monster?
Now Bonnet's monster is something that's currently stationed on the IKS Dokabach. I should say. So because it's Bonnet's talent that allows her to do that, technically her shuttle goes with her.
Okay.
Which is a good point because I've kept it under the Combs crew and ships, haven't I?
Yeah.
Daisy.
Yeah. Granted, it's like it feels like it's her own personal shuttle.
Yes. So I will move Bonnet's monster to the Dokabach for the moment.
But we do have the Guicha then.
You still have technically the Guicha. The Guicha isn't much of a personnel transport, but you do have that option, yes.
Because that's 3 to 5 crew. But the Type 9 shuttlecraft's only 1 plus 2 passengers.
But you do have Type 6. You're currently loaded with Type 6 shuttlecraft available, which has a crew complement
6
of 6 to 8 at a stretch.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, it's Shutty the shuttle.
Yeah, 2 pilots and 6 people in the back.
Yeah, so we'll take Shutty the shuttle. Do we want to scan ahead to plot a quick and safe route? No surprises?
Okie doke. So as far as that's concerned, I would like
scan everything.
Anybody with probably Gerkow, reason and science, and we will allow the ship to assist with this. So, who hasn't rolled yet? Liz, have you rolled yet?
I think we've all rolled at least
Everybody else
once.
has had their turn, haven't they? Okay, cool. So I'll loop back around, and since Gerkow is on sensors, let's have Chris. If you could be the combs, please.
Yep, here we go. Detonating warp core. Right.
Hold that thought for just a bit.
Please no. But the way the rolls have been going, probably.
I was going to say, yeah, I'm rolling just to, get something out of the food replicator, and I'll just detonate the warp core. That's how it's going today.
So let me make the main directive for this. Assist the Mogami with the evacuation of Alpha Toryui 2. There we go. So your main mission directives is to, assist with the evacuation. But nevertheless, for Chris, I would like you to give me sensors and science 1 dice from the combs. Whereas Gerkow, well, it's up to Gerkow if she wants to farm this off to one of her team, because this is reason and science, and we're really looking for somebody with astrophysics or stellar phenomena.
Can God focus not apply?
I don't think we're leaving Space Dock today, are we? I'm just looking at all our rolls.
Well, that ship literally has already sailed, so fortunately.
Yeah, that's seen in Galaxy Quest where there's the epic disembarkment and it just scrapes along the entire length of the hangar. That's today. That's the energy.
Seems to be how it's going, yeah, with all these high rolls. You don't have your lucky charm, Dave. Dave isn't here.
There's no ladders in this one, is there, Matt?
I hadn't planned on there being any ladders, but just give me a second whilst I rewrite my notes a little bit. Okay.
God.
God focus? Not in this case, no.
Okay, then I shall...
I mean, you can always employ one of your team as assistants, but you don't have momentum is the problem. Oh no, they're an assistant, so they're your first assistant, so you could get assistance from one of them, yes. Pardon me.
System stable.
I'll have Dufresne help me then.
Dufresne, okay, because I was going to say both of them have got stellar phenomena, which is as close to astrophysics as we're going to get. So, Merc, can I get you to be Dufresne, please? We are looking at reason and science for Dufresne with the focus in stellar phenomena.
1 dice.
1 dice. Gerkow, 2 dice, and you're just going to have to go on pure scientific talent here. There we go, we got a success. And another success. 2 successes overall. And... okay.
The ship didn't explode.
The ship didn't explode, but you needed 3, so you can succeed at cost.
First officer thinks that's a good idea. What about the rest of the crew?
I think we have to.
Yeah, I think we have to.
You don't have to. You could expend... I mean, unless anybody's got an ability... Oh, hang on a second. Oh no, Dufresne did do a really good roll, thanks to Mark there, so... what about collaboration science? Spend momentum... Ooh! No, you don't have momentum. Whoopie days. Yeah, what you could do is spend determination in order to re-roll 1 or more of your dice if you wanted more, but
Nah.
a bit early in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Succeed at cost. Alrighty.
Why is Sax so stressed? Did she get absolutely mullered while trying to train the two?
No. If you recall, as a supporting character who only has 1 value, she only has half a stress track. Same for the EMD, same for Lieutenant Zonvagor. They are, and the same for your tactical officer Dyneth. Supporting characters, if they only have 1 value, can only gain half a stress track. It's when they gain 2 or more values that they get a full stress track to use. Otherwise, supporting characters like Ensign Girani or Ensign Kenson or Ensign Akos, or indeed Eversion, and Dufresne, and Ravalon, etc. They have no values currently, therefore have no stress track at all, which means it takes 1 shot to take them out. Defeated, not dead. But nevertheless, moving swiftly along. So that was a success at cost. Okay, noted for later. So, what you get as an estimate is that the current rate of decay on the star suggests that it'll undergo final gravitational collapse in about 11 hours, plus or minus 30 minutes. Unfortunately, the rescue mission to recover the artifacts and the data and the people on the planet is projected, even with your assistance, to currently take 18 hours.
System stable.
So, we have a bit of a problem on our hands. So, whilst you are here looking at stuff, is there anything else you might like to turn your attention to?
It would take us 18 hours to do it if we're using just the one shuttle. Can we split up the gang on 2 shuttles? Say to recover the artifact and the bigger shuttle to do the rescue.
It's still the same amount of time.
Okay.
That's, the assumption was made that you'd be using all available craft to shuttle folks to and from.
And we only have like one hangar bay, so it's just like we can only like do so much at a time.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're not a ship like an Akira class, which would have massive shuttle bays. As an Intrepid, you are limited to your one shuttle bay. Yes.
Would it be... Could we shuttle the people to our ship so it's shorter trips?
Synchronizing.
It doesn't make much of a difference, I'm afraid, because it's still a case of sending a shuttle. The shuttle travels, the shuttle makes orbital entry, the shuttle lands, opens its gates, people then start piling stuff and materiel and personnel on. Shuttle then closes door, takes off, comes back, parks itself, unloads everybody and everything on the shuttle then turns around and goes back again. So it's assumed that anybody your shuttles evacuate will stay on your ship. So it means that the Mogami now has extra space, isn't cramming all of its bays and whatnot full of people and materiel, but it's still 18-hour projection at the rate it's going.
Okay. Can we then can we do another extra scan to confirm that this phenomenon is related to what we've seen in the Shackleton Expanse?
Interesting. Okay.
Identify the control center and do some jiggery-pokery there.
Okay. Good thought. I will draw your attention then, if I go back to the Alpha Toryui system map. One thing that you do notice now that you do a preliminary glimpse of the system is when you scanned the star to get an idea of its imminent collapse, what you also notice is there are weird pieces of technology in a static orbit around the star. Now, the first thing that comes to anybody's eye who looks at this is that these artificial satellites, whatever they are, they're not arranged in such a fashion that they are pointed directly at the star's core. They're off kilter. They're off center. Therefore, some are closer to the star than others. Raldanash has just popped in to say hello. Hi, Raldanash. Thanks for popping in. A lot quieter than the crew. Yes, I'm afraid that's to do with mic sound issues at the moment. I recently upgraded to Windows 11, and so teething issues. Thanks. Nice animation. Well, I can't claim any. I can't claim any responsibility for that. That is all JB2A animation, and very, very helpful if you want animated tiles and whatnot. So yeah, check those guys out if you want to become a patron and get some of their stuff for free, especially, not for free exactly, but get some of their animated stuff for Foundry. I am in no way endorsed by JP2A at all, let me quickly state. But yes, thanks for checking in, Ral. Always nice to see you. But yes, as far as yourselves are concerned, yeah, if you the closest clue you have that this might be evidence of that same ancient civilization that you've been coming across so much in the Shackleton Expanse would be these artificial satellites around the star. So, by all means, you can have a good old look at those. So, let's go back to the bridge. So, anybody who wants to have a look at an analysis of those satellites can give me either reason and science or reason and engineering. Once again, the ship can assist.
I can assist Gerkow because she is more familiar with the alien technologies, isn't she?
That is a good point. Yes. Well,
Counting when they went in my head, yes.
Phlesc isn't unfamiliar with them either, if I recall, so, you know. Oh, the targ's off.
Whoosh.
The targ got bored and has gone back to bed.
Oh.
It's like, screw this, there's no fighting. No, that's cool. So, either Liz or Chris could do the sensor scan by the combs, which of course will be sensors and science. Anybody who wants to take the lead in the scan of the artificial satellites can give me reason and science or reason and engineering, whoever wants to help with whomever.
I don't mind going for the combs again. That's alright.
Cool.
Sensors and science?
Yes, please. As far as Gerkow is concerned, now that it's something familiar, I will allow you to use God Focus.
Yeah.
Because there are now high probabilities of certain sensor scans going certain ways, so yes.
Mm-hmm.
I will assist with 1 dice.
Okay.
Reason and engineering. Pew. Don't have focus.
Oh, but you get a good old roll. Well done. Nicely done. Nicely done indeed. And some good ones by Gerkow too. Awesome source. So let me just see. You get a nice chunk of momentum there for that. Alright. So yeah, anything that would have been applicable there. Materials, science, which we know Phlesc has got, was a good focus there. So yeah. There is a debris field as well as these artificial satellites that suggest that there was more of this type of technology around, but whatever's happened over time has rendered them wrecked, but still in orbit of the star itself. So the wreckage itself is composed of tritanium alloys, duranium, and polyduranide, all of which are fairly standard materials that you find in modern starships. But, like I've noted, the orbit of the wreckage seems to be off of the star's mass, the center of it at the very least, which does suggest to those scientifically minded folks that there's a second high-mass object within the star, perhaps? Which is off of the center of the star itself. At the moment, no object can be detected where the other mass should be to account for these strange orbits. But the wreckage does seem to have once been gravitationally bound to that strange sensor shadow deep within the star. This could
Please log in.
be the strange mass that's affecting the orbits of the satellite debris, but it seems to not really be there. The sensors are just registering a hole, a gap. Anything else?
Can we determine whether or not this is impacting the rate or even causing the star's imminent collapse?
Force
Would
field
we be
is
able
at full
to
strength.
either further scan or even assess the data we've received?
It's certainly atypical. Something of, solid mass being within or next to the core of a star, you imagine, would have been melted or annihilated a long, long time ago. And yet there's this... Well, you don't know what it is because it's just a shadow, a gap almost in the sensors. The sensors don't seem to be able to register there's anything there. It's just a hole. So it's weird. So there's the strong possibility that this could be something that's affecting the star. There's no obvious signs that there's anything that's draining the hydrogen or anything else that is the star's main fuel.
I
But
think if they don't exactly need senior staff. We've got it. It's a well-running, well-oiled machine getting the evacuation of the equipment and people. So I suggest that we go in there with our expertise and see what we can do about delaying the star burst.
Okay, well, you know that there are tunnels and cave systems, artificial ones, on the surface of the second planet.
Okay, let's
Previous
go.
experience seems to suggest that there's sometime... Well, you've come across control caverns before.
System stable.
So there's every possibility there could be something down there on the surface. Best way is to go down and check. Or, of course, is to also examine the artifacts that are currently now being brought up onto the ship. So it depends on what you want to do.
Please log in.
Well, we can have the
Pilot activated.
the expertise team being beamed down, whilst some of the rest of the crew, the supporting characters, can be used to start rescuing people off the surface.
So,
if we go into two different sites.
Yeah, I take that then that you might want to use your Chief Helm Officer to start shuttling folks to and from.
Yeah.
There is one... Actually, shall I hold on to that? No, you know what? Because you guys succeeded at cost, I am not going to throw you that one bone.
No.
We'll go with any clever plans you guys come up with. But throwing Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang on there. She does have shuttlecraft as a focus, so if you activate her, even if it's not to actively use her, then Lian Zhang is going to probably be able to shave off some time because she's such an expert pilot. So she can forego the usual safety checks and juice up the shuttle somewhat so that it spends less time traveling to and from, that kind of thing, if that's what you want to do. Likewise, any of your other supporting... Well, did you have any other of your supporting cast in mind when it came to helping out with stuff? Not really. Okay.
Uh, the only thing I had an idea was seeing if Zongvagor could make where transporters is safer.
Okay.
Use his expertise of being a transporter chief or
Sure.
transporter chief to make it safer. Speed up this process by yeah, we could beat people aboard now.
Okay, he can certainly have a look at that. Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all. Anything else you can think of?
We never gave someone constant presence, did we?
So
A
far,
supporting
no.
character.
No, nobody has been given constant presence yet. I mean, if there was somebody you wanted to give them constant presence, for those who don't know, anybody who might be watching what we're talking about, there is a general talent for supporting characters only that must have at least 2 values. So at the moment your list of 2 value supporting cast is limited to Lian Zhang, Lieutenant Garrow, and Nurse Uro. So it means they gain 1 determination the first time they use an adventure. So so they would gain 1 extra. So yes, that essentially comes down to you guys nominating who you want as a supporting character to be boosted in that fashion. So they're going to have to gain a second value if you want them to be boosted. So boosted. Was there anybody you haven't had in mind for it?
Well, there's always Garrow just for some extra muscle. But otherwise, no one specific unless anyone else had any ideas.
Does anyone else have any ideas as to what supporting character you think might benefit from having 2 determination whenever they're used, rather than the standard 1? If they have determination, of course. Nothing comes to mind? Okay, well, something to have a think about.
Dineth?
Dineth?
Dineth? If we're ever in a shooty times.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, I also want to be bad for Zonvorgor to have a second talent or second value eventually.
Sure.
So,
Sounds good. Okay, things to consider. So, for the moment, we're going to have Lian Zhang do her best to shuttle folks as quickly as possible to and from. So let's change the... Let's be starting the evacuation, and we also want Zonvagor to be looking into trying to make the transporter work more safely. Okay. Let's see what we get. Trying to speed up the recovery rate.
Yeah, I mean, if he can make it where it's at least safer to haul the equipment up, then we could just be like, people, abandon your stuff. We'll beam it up. Just get on the shelves.
That's
And
certainly
they don't
an
have to
approach
worry
if you want
about
to take
packing. Yeah. And that seems probably the easier way, because materials are easier to test on.
Sure. Okay. Well, what Lieutenant Zonvagor will say is, at present moment, as you already know, the electromagnetic radiation and the gravimetric disturbances coming off of the main star itself are what's causing the inability to use transporters. Now, it's possible to perhaps look at improving the transporter system. But Zonvagor's not certain at all that it's ever going to be safe to transport organic matter up onto the ship, because a lot more can go wrong with organic matter compared to inorganic matter, because of the sheer complexity. So Zonvagor thinks that it's possible that improving the transporter system such that they can actually transport inorganic materials, usually things like the artifacts and whatnot that are being set to be transported up, as well as the equipment. That's going to be as far as Zonvagor believes the ship is going to be able to go, because organic matter's too risky.
All systems active.
Well, if it means they can not worry about hauling all that stuff and loading the shuttles with the items, should make it go quicker.
Okay.
And if we can figure that out, we can send it to our counterpart, and they can start beaming up the materials as well.
Alright. Okay, so let me see. So no one's been looking at that stuff yet. So hold on to that. But Gerkow. As the hours are moving on, as you've been, because the scanning of the star and then the artificial satellites around it, the data you've been getting back, that has taken some time to do. It's not like it's been a rapid thing that you can just check off. Check off. Okay, just me. In the meantime, as all these analyses have been conducted and suggestions as to how to improve things have gone on, Gerkow starts hearing whispers. Nobody else seems to be reacting to these whispers.
Don't you guys hear anything?
The only person...
Hear what?
Yes, indeed. The only person who... Thank you, Liz. Damn it, not again. Thank you for that gift, that was great. The only other person who volunteers that they're hearing something is Councillor Sachs, who turns around to Gerkow and says, "Yes, you're hearing that too?"
Can you determine what it is?
It's like this whispering at the edge of perception. Anybody who wants to try what's Gerkow's insight and command like? Not bad. Would you like Councillor Sachs to be activated so that she can assist with this?
No.
No. Okay. Easily done. I do not want to be stained by her incompetence. That's fine. Feel free. Go right ahead.
It's a command just to check.
Insight and command. Difficulty 1, please. That's not bad. Whoa, 2 successes. So 1 extra momentum.
Wait.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay. The whispering sounds far enough away that it's neither on the ship nor on the planet. That's the most you can determine at this time. The captain is occupying the center of the bridge. What's going on?
She just gets started sitting.
Okay. That's fine. Good grief. I just realised I'm not wearing my comm badge. Bored was really today. I'm going to have to be written up now.
Yep.
Ah, dear.
I'm surprised Towers is being quiet.
Well, there's a reason Tavish has been quiet, but we'll
I know.
get onto that. It's a bit meta, but nevertheless. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So, what were we looking at? Whispers. Whispers, yes. There's no discernible direction they're coming from, but at the moment, they sound far enough away that you can definitely determine that they're not coming from the ship or the planet. In the meantime, time grinds on. So, 4 hours later, there are now 14 hours remaining when Alpha Toryui, the star, will undergo final gravitational collapse. Lieutenant Thompson of the Corps of Engineers assures you that getting both the people and the artifacts off the planet will require days more. If it comes to it, people's lives are what matters, but it's gonna be tight. So with the countdown still ongoing, what would you like to do? So far, Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang's shuttle trips are outpacing everyone else's shuttle trips, which has gained you some time, but still not enough. There is still too wide a margin. Is there anything you would like to try? Oh, that's a good point, actually. Who were you sending down to the planet in order to investigate the ruins?
Main crew.
Yeah, the main gang. But
The main gang, okay.
instinct tells me the captain and first officer shouldn't both go. But I think we both want to.
Well, as has been stated, at the moment it's mostly just shepherding personnel and material back and forth. So,
Okay.
if this ever was a situation where the captain could justify leaving the ship, because you already know what the timeline is, you've already settled on who's in charge of shepherding people between the surface and orbit. So I don't see any reason why the captain herself couldn't also make an appearance. Does Dr. Sott want to go, or is he content with staying on board for now?
No, I can tag along. Get some sick
Cool.
rolls going, hopefully, off the bridge.
So, we got the captain. Phlesc has still got a good degree of engineering and metallurgical analysis going for him.
And
Gerkow
with
hasn't
the
got a bad
captain
engineering score herself. Yes, sorry, someone else was talking there. I talked over you.
and with having the captain go, she can always pilot the shuttle, so we don't have to stop the other shuttles.
You could, yes. What you can essentially do is normally, if I could just bring the cones up, normally you have a worker bee on standby. You could always swap that out to be one of the other shuttles, like the Type 9, which doesn't have as much space for personnel, but is a little bit nippier. And by nippy, I mean fast, you know. For those who don't get the colloquialism. So you could certainly do that. So, yeah, the captain has a pretty good, in fact, has the best con score out of the lot of you, so alright then. Let's bring you down to the surface. So, you managed to take the shuttle down to the surface without incident. But, what you do is you have to learn about the planet itself before you go. As such, the planet is Class B, so it's a hot, partially molten world similar to Mercury in many regards, but this has active volcanism going on. You can do a more in-depth scan if you wanted to, but it's not necessary in order to get down there. You already know that there are tunnels and hollows within. But if you wanted to, anyone of the ground team going down could give me reason and science if you've got anything to do with geology or cartography. Which I'm not sure anybody here does. But you do now have full momentum to play with if Gerkow wants to do
Metals
the
come out of the ground?
We're
Well, yes, quite.
fine together.
So,
I
it is
mean,
possible for Gerkow to do the reading if you want to go that way, unless you want to keep the momentum, which is also fine.
any plant life there is just all
Not
rocks.
really, because it's a hot, arid, partially molten world. So if there is plant life down there, I mean, God, can you imagine how tough that is? But no.
You're going foraging for drugs.
Okay. I don't mind then doing the checker. Yeah, I don't mind taking a point of momentum.
Go for it. Go for it.
I have no science or engineering or medicine.
Oh dear.
So it's all up to the science officer. Okay.
I'm good in security, command, and con.
She
Oh,
knows what
take
she's
one.
good at and she sticks to it.
Let's can assist, but it seems like Gerkow's got this.
Reason and
We'll see.
science.
Reason and science counts as having a focus.
So you're looking at this. Ooh, wow, double threes. Force. Jeez, Willikers. Okay, kaboom. Full momentum pool. Yowza. All right. So a good old in-depth scan of the planet reveals. All right. Many of the more geologically stable regions on the planet have large hollow spaces in the crust. Currently, all life form readings are in one of those caverns, which would suggest the archaeological teams. Or they're in the turbolift shaft to the surface getting picked up by the shuttlecraft. Clearly these are all the archaeological and engineering teams. Many of the hollow spaces have a breathable atmosphere in them. Slightly different from Earth standard, but apparently with extra argon and helium. No power readings except from known sources. The caverns and all the hollow spaces all seem to be artificially constructed, with the ages ranging from 2 million to 200,000 years ago. So there you have it.
So when we go in those tunnels, we're going to have squeaky voices.
Well, only if you
Oh,
go
we
in
have-
there... Actually, yeah, that's a good point, because you can go in there with EV suits, but there's breathable atmosphere inside of the hollows, so...
So the rest of the crew, apart from Phlesc, will have squeaky voices.
I think, we'll be safe, right? I mean, Gerkow's probably going to go with an EV suit.
Even a question for Phlesc.
Oh.
Yeah. Hopkins are like, oh, it's breathable. I'll be fine.
So, you do make your way down to the planet's surface without incident. Yes, Liz.
How is Zalvagor's task of trying to figure out how to get transporters working for
yes.
inanimate objects?
I think we'll get to that once we're done with you guys and your investigation of the tunnels, if that's okay.
Alright.
The ancient catacombs.
We will stick to this, so for the moment. So, yeah, you make a landing next to one of the turbolift shafts that were dug out and built in order to explore the ruins. And you do eventually find yourself down into the ruins below the surface. Pardon me for minimizing that. So when you come down, it's very much as busy as you expected. You've got personnel going back and forth up and down the turbo lift, so the moment your turbo lift, well, the moment that you come down to the bottom shaft in the turbo lift. As soon as the doors open and you step off, there are more personnel getting back on, dragging zero-G sleds piled up with equipment. But there's still more equipment remaining in the cavern. You do notice that one individual appears to be the one coordinating most of what's going on around here. He definitely seems to be the man in charge. So even though I haven't filled this map with the personnel that are going to be going to and from, we can assume, thank you very much, that there are civilian science and Starfleet Corps of Engineers personnel going back and forth, packing up.
Oh, you preempted my joke that, we've already got them all. One's gone, we've succeeded.
Under no circumstances, no. But, yes, you are now down here in the catacombs. At which point the fellow who seems to be in charge, who's got a pad in front of him and is it seems to be ticking off things as he's auditing folks as they come to him. When he notices yourselves, he hands over his pad to an assistant and moves over. Dr. Mitchell Al-Malki at your service. You're from the other ship.
Yes, we are from the Combs.
Oh, I see. Very good, very good. Can I help you with anything? Or are you here to help evacuate more of the equipment?
How
to phrase this?
Yeah, how to phrase this?
This is interesting for you being captain now, isn't it? You have to be a bit more diplomatic.
I will let my science officer explain what we're doing.
Delegation. Best thing about being a commanding officer.
Hello, Doctor.
Yes, Commander, as he tries to read your pips.
Close enough. We're here because we suspect that the artifacts and the star, these tunnels are related to something we have encountered throughout the Shackleton Expanse previously.
Oh, really?
And in these occurrences, we were able to access a control room and work with the existing systems to delay or avoid planetary collapse previously. So that is, we are on a mission to find this so-called control room and hopefully give us more time for all this evacuation.
I see. Well, I can tell you that as far as we have been able to determine, we have mapped as much of these tunnels and cave systems as we have found that are intact and safe. And so far, we haven't been able to locate anything that looks like what you suggest. Any kind of control room or central command circuit. We've only found trace evidences so far of technology, mostly built into the walls here. Take the torches over there, and he indicates the torches on the walls. They're actually a very clever, almost optical illusion. They appear to be traditional torches in sconces, but when you actually get close to them, you see that they're crystals. As far as we've been able to determine, the whole complex, well, and by complex I mean the entire network of tunnels and chambers that we've found, so far they all appear to be linked. We've determined no differentiation between the different areas that we've currently scanned. Nothing that suggests that they were broken up into regions or anything. It's quite extraordinary. Those torches, being crystals, they all appear to be powered from a central source, like the majority of the sadly inert pieces of technology that we have been finding, most of which, and he taps one of the nearby crates, are in these, as much as we've been able to safely remove so far. As for any resemblance to any previous technologies, well, you're certainly welcome to scan any of what's currently here, but I have to insist that, due to expediency's sake, that you make any such examination of any of our boxed-up artifacts as quick as you possibly can, because we need to evacuate them as soon as possible. Time is still very much against us.
Thank you, Doctor. You say these crystals are powered from a central source. Have you identified where that source is?
Not exactly, but we have found a number of lava channels that have been artificially dug throughout a vast majority of the areas that we've uncovered. To our limited degree of understanding, it seems as if whichever civilization previously occupied the planet and dug these fantastic edifices, they appear to have been using geothermal energy to power the majority of their technology. Does this coincide with what you have discovered so far?
That does seem new to me. One more question.
Of course.
Has any of your team had any incidents of episodes of auditory hallucinations?
Oh, you mean the whispers?
Mm-hmm.
Only those of our personnel who are of telepathic or empathic species. We have one or two beta sets and a smattering of Vulcans who have been complaining recently about hearing whispers. Yes. Have you been having similar instances?
The betasoid on our ship also has experienced this.
I see. Interesting. We had been passing such off as background interference almost from the system star. It's not unusual for electromagnetic fields to influence humanoid brains. As such, for the most part, since we've been able to find no singular cause for these so-called whispers, we've just put it down to such interference from the star. I'm afraid we haven't found much else that can suggest any such source.
Thank you, Doctor. Those are all the questions I have for now.
Need to be getting back to coordinating the evacuation of the material that we have assembled here. Like I said, if you want to conduct scans of this particular box, this one is not due to be on the next shuttle, so that you at least have the next 30 to 45 minutes to scan whatever's in there before we have to send it off with the rest. Feel free to have a look around the rest of the chamber if you feel you need to, but please try not to get in the way of everyone else who is working as hard as they can. Are working as hard as they can. So, whilst you are here, what would you like to do?
Scan everything.
I'll take a look at this statue.
Yeah, so the statue iconography is interesting, but it's infuriatingly non-specific. You haven't come across statuary so far in all of the other expeditions you've had where you've come across the ancient civilizations in the Expanse. So finding these is unusual, but it would make a certain degree of sense. insofar as if what the doctor said is true, or what you've discovered, pardon me, when you made scans of the planet were true, then the ruins here range from 2 million to 200,000. So far, you've certainly uncovered evidence of an ancient civilization that was present in the galaxy tens of thousands of years ago. But, millions? Whoa, that's a big jump. As far as scanning everything, so let's see. Opening up the box with the artifacts in, you find that the artifacts are in a variety of shapes and sizes, but all of them have sharp edges which are crystal-like. The surface of each item isn't smooth, nor is there anything that would indicate a function, except for small, sharp-edged channels that run across their surfaces. On closer inspection, the artifacts resemble crystallized metallic meteorites, and even have a faint coppery or metallic smell. Every now and then, when you look closely at these channels, you swear that you can detect a flickering blue light deep inside the artifact. But whenever you turn your tricorder on it to run a scan, the scan returns no activity at all. Scan everything. What else?
This crystal.
Yeah. Looking at the crystal channel, yes, it's a very cleverly constructed crystal that appears to be flickering flame, but isn't. So how they've achieved this is probably just a combination of light refraction within the crystal. But the crystal itself seems to have a direct channel that goes down into another larger channel that's behind the wall itself, and this reads a large degree of heat coming from it, which would corroborate with what the doctor was saying about lava channels. So what you find is that these volcanic channels and fissures are definitely artificial. Now that you trace it, you can find that this hollow space is an inactive channel that leads to a larger one further down. So this definitely corroborates the theory that, or the hypothesis, pardon me, that the planet's own geothermal energy is being used to power stuff. Which does and doesn't echo what you've previously found. You've certainly found evidence with the former archaeological expeditions that you've gone on that suggest that this alien civilization were utilizing the planets they built their structures on. And if you cast your minds back all the way to the Bacchus system, which I believe Chris quoted as the one where Gerkow went a bit nuts, when Gerkow needed to get inside of the monolith.
Yeah, that's the reason why the... Damn it, not again.
Yes. Yes. So, yeah, those ones had definitive evidence that it was they went deep down into the planet's surface and were drawing up power from the planet's core itself. So, in its own way, it does echo that, but doesn't seem to be precisely exactly the same methods. So what you have here is entirely possible might be early indications of this civilization, potentially. So this could be a snapshot of how they were with their technology when they were starting out. Maybe. It's still unclear. And like I said with Phlesc, looking at the statue is maddeningly vague. It's been weathered enough with time that the shape appears to be humanoid, holding some kind of staff or scepter, but they're all hooded, cowled, robed, and therefore you're not able to make out any characteristics that suggest what they might have looked like. So certainly a lot of data so far. But let's go back to the ship now, as we are still looking to try and improve the transporter system. Get the earthquake rumble to go away, and instead bring us onto space. Okay. So, Zonvagor is trying to improve the transporter. So time is running on. You don't have all that much time left, so let's see how he does. Improving the transporter system will require insight and science. I mean, Zonvagor himself can use his foci of transporters, but he could really do with help. Excuse me a second. He could really do with help from someone with spatial phenomena or quantum mechanics. So either he can do reason and engineering, probably, with his focus on transporter systems, but he could really do with someone aiding him who can use insight and science, who can use
Aversion.
Aversion. Yes, makes a good choice.
Yeah, they do have stellar phenomena and quantum mechanics. Yeah.
So let's
Take your pick.
Yes.
Also
focus.
He also has. This wouldn't be reason or control for science, would it?
It is going to be insight and science. But whenever he assists a task with science or medicine, he can re-roll his d20. And you were looking at his intense scrutiny. That's for an extended task, and for the moment, this is not an extended task. So. Cool. Well, since you latched onto Ensign Aversion, then Liz, if you could be Ensign Aversion for me, and Mark, since Zonvagor is your boy who took over ops, you may as well do reason and engineering for him. So once again, reason and engineering for Zonvagor, insight and science from Aversion, please.
I think Aversion should roll.
Modifying it.
Yeah. Do we want to take use a momentum to roll 2 dice with Aversion as well?
Good question.
Yeah, let's go for it.
And he does have a focus, right?
He does have a focus, that's Aversion, yes indeed. He's got 2 that you can use, so you should be no shortage of foci. Oh, very good.
And because of his assistance, he's going to reroll that 16.
Nice. As well. Unless you get a 20, of course. Which you nearly got!
Oh.
You nearly got!
It was nearly a 1. It was awesome, close to a 1.
Yes.
It's closer to the 1.
Oof. Alright then. Oof, that was close. So, right then. So, it doesn't take away from his 2 successes, and it doesn't take away from Zonvagor's success. So, what does that give us? Okay. So, looks like a success. Cool. So, if it had been anybody else, that could have been a serious cataclysm there, but you do have the advantage there. They've got 3 successes in total, so that was brilliant. So yes, Zonvagor, along with Aversion, have managed to alter the transporter systems enough that you can start beaming up material from the inorganic material from the surface. So that now takes a lot of the onus off of the shuttles, so that they can spend more of their capacity bringing personnel up. Okay, cool beans.
And they do pass it to the other ship, so they can also start beaming up stuff too.
Yeah, okay, good. That's nice.
It's like, hey, we found this fix.
Cool. Still doesn't shave off all the time you might need. You've still got enough of a backlog that we're still looking at time being very much against you. This is where we spend a few time. That lovely threat that you killed with him. The ship shakes slightly, and alarms and notifications start going off, which Zonvagor and Dufresne can tell anybody. In fact, that's a good point. Zonvagor, being operations officer, is probably the one being left with the con. Especially since Commander Tavish has had a number of reprimands against her recently, so she's not going to be given the con for the moment. So Zonvagor more than likely is the one with the con at the moment. And yes, sensors indicate that the star is showing a growing amount of instability, which has shortened the window even more. And back down on the planet, the away team definitely feels that, as they feel the whole chamber that they're currently in shake, and rock dust start to fall on them, suggesting that there's growing geological instability. Right, so what have we got? Have done that. Lovely jubbly. Still got the problem of all of that going on, so okay. You experience another shake of the ship as another gravity wave emits from the Alpha Toryui star. This time you get an alert that the frequency and intensity of the gravity waves is starting to impact your ship. The final wave that you experience in that short space of time is accompanied by a drastic increase in the brightness of the star. And it's at this point that anyone monitoring communications, and indeed the away team on the surface, you start noticing a panic coming from the archaeologists. Captain Fortok communicates with you. The Mogami's sensors are beginning to show deep instabilities in the planet's crust and rapidly changing magnetic fields that my science officer isn't able to figure out. Magnetic fields are fluctuating rapidly, and the planet's crust appears to be shifting along fault lines that weren't even there moments before. We can't figure out why this is happening. Captain, the deadline for a stable warp-out is quickly approaching, and there are still archaeologists down on the planet who are refusing to leave their work behind. And the Mogami is nearly at full capacity.
We will try to convince them to leave if possible. Though we will do what we can. If you get to capacity, you should at least get them to safety. I don't know what more you would be able to help the evacuation.
hate to leave you in the lurch like this, but at the moment it's all we can do.
Don't.
Let's go grab the last of the
worry about it.
archaeologists.
Yeah.
Take what we can.
Okay.
Did we bring a anti-grav sled? Pilot knocked out archaeologists.
You want to
Ironically,
start rendering the archaeologists incapacitated in order to get them stacked like cordwood onto an anti-grav
you know the
sled.
sad part is there is an anti-grav sled in Hopkins' inventory still.
Yeah, well, I didn't doubt that you'd bring an anti-grav sled, to be honest. So, you know.
So they may not want to leave, but they can. Okay, that's an option.
Okay.
Do we have a Falcon that can do the nerve pinch and just part them on the anti-grav sled?
Well, if
We have a
No, you
Klingon. We have a Klingon.
So you do have a Klingon.
Does a nerve pinch with a fist.
Maybe Sot's got some knockout juice on him.
Well,
Oh, he's got the anesthetic hyperspray.
you do have the, I was about
Anesthetic
to
is
say,
more,
yeah, the anesthetic.
Yeah.
Can the hyper spray be adjusted for a spread shot?
Its potency will be greatly reduced.
You know what? I think I found my next science project.
Yeah, right, an anesthetic spray. Gotcha. An area effect anesthetic spray. Good God. Okay then. Now, the estimated point of no return is still a couple of hours away. And with the improvements that you've made to your ship, not so much the shuttles, it seems you're starting to gain. So with this, right, so let me quickly state that as soon as you start trying to rush the archaeologists onto the shuttles, they start to actively complain. They are very concerned with the safety and there is a word for it. Cohesion? Jesus, what the hell is that? Healing wide-angled hyperspray. You can't see what I can see, folks, but that looks like someone just put 2 drills at the end of a... What the hell is that?
It's a Flammenwerfer.
A Flammenwerfer. So
But
you're going to
a
burn them
healing
to
modification.
unconsciousness. Right, gotcha.
Well, no, it'll be modified for just wide-angled hyperspray. Don't know why it needs a heat shield, but
No, me either. That's what worried me. What are you going to do? Render these folks unconscious by a flame, you know? I know fire solves most problems, but jeez.
It just shoots that deep heat stuff. Tiger bomb. Other ones are available.
There's deep heat, and then there's deep heat. Good God. Okay, right, awesome. Right. So, with the improvement that you've made so that you can now start beaming material out and start shipping them out, the archaeologists are putting up a fuss, but at the moment it's nothing you can't handle. So, are the ground crews staying down, or are they coming back? Because you're not sure how much more you can do down there. Because unfortunately, as much time as you spent down there, there's still no indication that there is a central control room, the likes of which we were trying to look for. I mean, you can still stay and analyze what is down there to see if you can find any more clues, if you want to, but time is now starting to go against you.
I think I'm okay to come back with some souvenirs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
The Hopkins would stay behind and make sure all the other Starfleet personnel, including civilians, are off the planet.
That will take a while, so that means Hopkins is staying down on the planet for a bit. Okay. What about the rest of you then? Sot, Phlesc, Gerkow, going back to the ship?
Yeah, Phlesc would want to go back to the ship, see what we can do to help either speed things up, or if there's anything the ship can do to help buy more time.
Yeah. Going back.
Okay. Rest, what about Dr. Sod? Is Crystal here?
Yeah, sorry, I'm here. I was just thinking. I'll come back to the ship as well.
Okay. So Trasa is going to be using her authority to try and speed things up with civilians. That doesn't have quite the effect you want, but at the same time, yes,
She
having
does have the
someone down
palm
there
leaf
just
of
encourage people to move along.
Pegasus Peace.
Sorry, what was that? I talked over you.
She does have the palm leaf of Pegasus of Peace, so she would try to placate them to move faster.
And if all else fails, Klingon.
Yes. Now, the crew.
Oh, that would go over.
To the ship. Well, let me see. Blah 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 blah. Lieutenant Thompson asks that Captain Fortok break orbit because the Mogami is near capacity. So the Mogami starts to bring in its personnel and its shuttles in order to facilitate that. And quickly wishes the Combs crew luck before they make, before you make your own transition to warp. You still have a couple of hours to go, but just when everything seems to be going right, threat. That's when another massive gravity wave ripples across the Combs' hull. And at this point, that's when you all hear the structure groan quite audibly. The ship's main computer, the Combs' main computer, announces that the warp drive is now offline. So, just as the rescue operations are starting to wrap up, with only hours left before total stellar collapse,
Okay.
you are now in orbit, stuck in orbit without your warp drive.
Phlesc is going to call upon the assistance of Tavish to help repair the warp drive, and if we succeed, we can repair breaches or any other problems, but we can spend 2 momentum to succeed.
Can Garrow get out and push?
Garrow is mighty, I will give him that.
So we want to fix the warp drive.
Fix as much as possible. Gotcha.
We can always have both Dyleth and Gerkow hop out and push. They should be able to handle it together.
Together, they can probably punch the Combs so that it starts moving, so I'll give you that. But, nevertheless... Go on, sorry, was someone going to mention something there?
So this is going to be an extended task then, or...?
In all likelihood, getting the engines back up and online might very well be. Let me check first.
Oh, if so, I can stack so many talents. So yes.
Which would be good, but for now, let's get to Gerkow and Councillor Sachs. The whispering now starts to grow stronger. So this is now becoming a very, very persistent thing. It still sounds as if it's coming from far away, but it sounds like there's more of it now. This incessant whispering, chatting voices somewhere in the back of your senses.
I'm hearing it again. Can I have... Okay. If Sax is also feeling it,
She is.
can she use her focus of telepathic location to identify where the whispering is coming from.
Interesting. I hadn't considered that. I'd forgotten she had that focus. That's actually a very, very appropriate focus. Yeah, sure. Sounds like it should be.
Now
She's
let's
probably
just
gonna
see if
want
they
help.
can actually cast it. Yeah.
So anybody you want to bring on to help? I am going to suggest she is probably going to be using insight and medicine for this. So anybody who wants to help in, I mean, medicine suggests Dr. Sott.
Oh, hello there.
So Dr. Sott can definitely help. So it's going to be insight and medicine. Evidently, Dr. Stott is not going to have any foci that can really help, unless you can think of something that could justify assistance with telepathic location.
Psychiatry, it's all in the head. No.
I was also
Inside.
thinking of philosophy. Yeah.
Insight medicine, 1 dice, no foci. Then
Yes,
right.
please. Ooh, very good.
Oh,
That's my first good roll all
Yeah?
day.
So,
I'm going home.
Councillor
I think here.
Sachs? Who hasn't rolled in a while? Nobody wants to admit it. Mark, have you rolled recently? No, Connie has.
No?
So
No, I did Evotion, didn't. No, I
you did
didn't.
version?
who did the other one?
All right then, Liz.
Some
Looks
forgot.
like you're going to be Sax. If that's okay. Come in, Liz.
Oh, okay. I couldn't. I thought you said me, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Okay. It's up to you, of course. But would you mind being Councillor Sax for this?
Yeah, I can.
Cool. So she is rolling 2
Yes.
dice for insight and medicine.
Let's see if is there anything else we can use for this.
So she's got her telepathic location focus.
Yeah, I'm just I'm seeing if I can use anything else to help with this.
Well, you've got a full momentum pool, so if you want to start throwing momentum in to add more dice, you certainly have the capacity to do so right now.
Yeah. Would you guys mind if I take an extra dice?
I think with
Go for
Councillor
it.
Sachs, it's practically mandatory, isn't it?
Oh. Here it goes. Not terrible.
No, that's pretty good. With Dr. Sott's 1 success as well. Okay. Nice. What do you learn? The whispering seems to be operating on many brain patterns over a large area. So Dr. Sott can confirm that the telepathic parts of crew members' brains are lighting up. Why it's lighting up in Commander Gerkow is not entirely clear, but it does seem, according to Dr. Sott's investigation, that Gerkow's frequent contact with this strange lost civilization and the frequent telepathic whispers or messages that seem to be going out, they have affected Gerkow from possibly the very outset. So she seems to have a link, maybe, or she's developed some kind of telepathic sensitivity that she didn't know. That's atypical of Tellarites. But as far as using the telepathic location, It seems to Sot and to Sax that the whispers are very much coming from the star, or if not from the Alpha Toryui star itself, then very possibly from that empty spot that the sensors can't focus on. That's next to the star's core. Alright then. So, unless there's anything particular you want to do with that information. Okay.
I'm trying to think if it's not something we can really scan, but if it's a telepathic thing that there's sort of put there. Let's see, is there a way?
Is there a way?
Can we do a scan to check if there is a way that something is actually there but undetectable by our usual means?
Well, you've certainly discerned that that seems to be the case, yes, already.
Yeah. But can we determine whether it's fully telepathic, or it's under a different phase, or like if it's they're in some kind of space?
For that rather clever suggestion, I will allow Gerkow, using her God Focus. Actually, no, let's not go with God Focus. Let's go with Aversion's Quantum Mechanics. So Gerkow can do this with sensors using Aversion's Quantum Mechanics. So if I can have... Merc, can I get you to be the Coons? We're going to need sensors and science for this. Chris, could I get you to be Ensign Eversion, please? Giving me reason and science with quantum mechanics. Reason and science from Gerkow using your God Focus, please.
So sorry, what was the versions again? I was trying to find it.
Reason and science with a focus.
So he's taking the lead.
Do you want Eversion to take the lead?
No, I can take the lead.
Because he does have assistants, so he works better when he's only rolling the one assistant.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
yeah, it's both.
Okay. Legion. Oh wait, Legion of Honor.
Okay, you get 4 successes overall. If Gerkow wants to spend, Gerkow's Legion of Honor. Okay, we'll ignore what happens to the ship. The ship obviously suffering from the fact that the increased stellar activity is now causing havoc with systems. So, alright then. But with that many successes, yeah, you get an extra momentum for that. Yeah, okay. Using quantum mechanics, you do scan various subspace wavelengths, and sure enough, emitting out of that blank space in the main sequence star. Main sequence star? Did I get that right? In the star itself. In the Alpha Toryui star itself, from that blank spot, does appear on a subspace layer. There appears to be a transmission of some sort. But this is where I also spent a threat to further clock up the activity of the star. So, you estimate that the star's collapse is now only an hour away, and the last of the personnel are now coming aboard. Your warp drive is still out. So you now have a very limited time remaining to you. So your best bet now is to, well, that means the captain comes back aboard the ship because she and the rest of the personnel from the planet are beamed back aboard. As time
Get this warp drive online.
rapidly running out. So, the best you can do at this moment in time is to try and put as many light minutes between yourself and the star in order to buy your engineering teams enough time to try and stabilize a warp field and get you off to safety. So,
Okay.
let's go with changing the up a bit. So, last shuttles are being brought aboard. Your ship has to break orbit. Your ship can start to do full impulse away from the star, but it'll have 15 minutes before the star actually explodes.
No time to repair the warp drive, so just
There
blast
is
away.
time to try something. Try and turn this down.
Let's just try and kick it into some kind of
Yeah.
warp bump. A bump start.
Okay then, so what we're looking for is you're going to need to try and bring the warp drive back online. The amount of time it takes is entirely dependent on how many successes you get in this next task, which is going to be reason, engineering, difficulty of 2, with focuses of emergency repairs, warp core operations, or warp field dynamics.
Yep. Rather than
And
get Starfish
as many
in,
momentum that you are willing to spend after the successes
fact.
have been counted.
yep. So, going to stack all of the things. So,
Yes. Knock 'em off.
Legion of Honor, because that will
There
give
you
me 2 bonus momentum. But then also the Starfield Medal of Honor, because that's 2 bonus momentum on a success.
Right, stacking up the momentums.
Phlesc is going to do this on his own with his focus, but in which case he's going to use a Star Cross to double my focus range.
Bump its focus, right.
And because I'm trying to repair a system, it'll be repair team leader, so I can spend any bonus momentum if I need to use the repair and just
Yep.
completely repair it.
Yep, okay.
And then,
Oof.
with that in mind, it's reason and engineering. It's focus, double focus range. I want to know how many dice I can buy, however much momentum it is.
I
'Cause I've
will
got
do this to help you.
They spend
As the
determination to
commander-
grant any other character you can communicate with a determination.
All right, and I've got to do determination dice as well. So I'm currently rolling 2 dice plus 1. That's 3. So I could buy 3 more dice. How much does 3 more dice cost me? No, 2 more
6 momentum.
dice. 2 dice is 6 momentum
2 dice is going to be 3 momentum.
because I'm already rolling 2 plus 1 is 3. Maximum is 5, isn't it?
Well, if it's determination, one of your dice is being replaced by a
The nat
determination
one.
dice.
Okay. Yeah, actually, no. I'm going to spend all the momentum.
To roll.
Just-
All right. To buy yourself.
To
three
roll the
dice.
max dice.
Rolling max dice. Ah,
I saw that and I'm like, this is the perfect time to use use that.
So this
Boosh.
is essentially Phlesc using his
And I'll
authority
use a
as first
Legion of-
officer and knowledge of engineering. So yeah,
and Legion of Honor to get rid of that one.
okay. 5 successes. And you have accrued how many extra momentum? That's 4. Was 4, wasn't it?
4 bonus momentum.
4 points momentum. Whoa, Nelly. All right.
Which has to be spent on this activity.
Yes, on this task. So,
Which also is boosted by the fact that it instantly repairs the warp drive.
yeah, right, okay. Wow, blimey. All right. So, with all of this in mind, this is the task that you have set yourself, and this is what all goes into all of this. So, even though you've only got 15 minutes or so before the star explodes. You need to get the warp engines online and fast, which it seems like you do, and then some. But the time here isn't as dire as it seems, because this is where real physics comes into play. You calculate that the Alpha Toryui star circles is about 19.29 AUs, which means that even if your ship stays in orbit, it'll be over 160 minutes before the supernova's shock front reaches the planet, and that the ship is accelerating away under full impulse. So when the star does explode, there will be a subspace shock that travels faster than light. That will interfere with a lot of things like subspace communication from the intense distortion of space-time, which will make forming a warp field for the starship nearly impossible. But that doesn't mean that the destructive radiation and highly charged plasma from the explosion will destroy the ship. That shockwave will be moving at under the speed of light, which is what gives you time. So in those 15 minutes plus the time it takes the shockwave to reach your ship, a lot can happen. So, what happens? You spent loads of momentum and you got loads of successes, so
bump start the warp drive to just try and nudge us a couple of clicks away.
So you're able to form a stable warp field, and you do jump to a high warp for a few brief minutes just before the subspace shockwave of the exploding star disrupts the field and drops you back into sublight velocities about 10 light hours or so from your rendezvous point with the Mogami. So it is a phenomenal amount of work and coordination that is put in within a very short space of time. And Phlesc, to his credit, coordinates all of it whilst also hands-on doing a lot of it himself. So, this is the best result you could possibly have hoped for. You are able to jump ahead of the shockwave as it happens. So just as you break orbit, the gravitational waves coming off of the star and the flares and everything else, the second planet that you pull out of orbit from starts breaking apart, so bits of debris start getting ripped from the planet, and even the third planet, which is further out, starts getting ripped to pieces, and the debris from the planets starts making navigation a little difficult, but nothing that your helm officer can't deal with. And so with all of those calculations and managing to get the warp drive back online for just a short jump, you are able to propel the ship out of the danger zone. Whew. Thank you, Mark. All thanks to the beard? Well, maybe you are now this powerful thanks to the beard. I mean, it helps sod. Alright.
They're OP.
Yes. Nearly everyone on the ship turns to a view screen to witness the supernova. As I change the ambience a bit. The star brightens at the same time that it begins to collapse inwards. The images dim automatically in order to keep the rear sight of the But unlike other supernovas, the star doesn't complete its collapse. Rather, it suddenly pancakes out into a brilliant disk, with its outer edge touching the orbital debris. Alarms begin blaring from every computer as any stability your warp field has disappears, and the warp core itself shifts into an automatic safety. Those who are monitoring the sensors are showing a truly massive and unprecedented subspace rift forming around the stellar remnant. The glowing disk spreads outwards towards Alpha Toryui 2. The unimaginable energies of the collapsed star visibly boiling away the outer crust before the entire planet erupts in neon green lines of tortured space-time. Your starship is suddenly thrown sideways, as though it was falling towards the events occurring before. Just as suddenly, everything stops. There's no stellar remnant, no expanding plasma cloud, no planetary debris. Nothing besides an expanding ripple in space-time.
Ooh.
There's no more star.
Gerkow, what can we see on sensors from this distance?
Scanning.
So, reason and science, please. Difficulty 2.
Any... God, focus.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, nice.
7 and 3. Very good, very good. So, it seems that previously undetected devices activated and produced a subspace rift which encompassed the entire system before creating an artificial wormhole that lasted long enough that the 3 planets of the system and all the devices in orbit of the star were all hauled through. The falling sensation that everyone experienced was the local space-time snapping back into a less distorted smoothness. But the real stinger comes next. As for a brief period of time now, this gap, this void in space where everything just got pulled through into, Gerkow and Councillor Sachs and every other telepathic crew member on board the Combs hears the whispering get louder, almost distracting to the point where no words can be heard due to more and more voices adding to the noise, almost like you're in a crowded arena with multitude of voices overlapping. As you do, as you're about to be overwhelmed by this sheer amount of noise, you feel joy, sadness, anger, but most disconcerting of all, there's this all mixed with a chaotic feeling of, the best you can equate it to is madness. The moment the star exploded and got sucked into that void, all those voices drained away until there's only a strong single voice. And all you hear is, Tilikal, help us, please. Before subspace itself becomes too disrupted to hold it any longer, and everything goes quiet.
I'm gonna say, I share my thoughts, or the thoughts of the others and my thoughts, with everyone. And if I'm out, Teleka.
So I will spell out for you. I'll make it emit from Councillor Sachs what it was you heard.
Hmm. Can we first deduce if it's a known language or
It was a
culture that we know
telepathic
of?
signal. It doesn't. The name, the word Tilikal doesn't match anything in any record that you've come across.
Hmm.
Thoughts? Or indeed actions?
If there was a wormhole for just an instant, can we scan for traces and sort of determine where it led to, or just the traces?
Well, as Mr. Spock himself has claimed on an episode of Star Trek, it's almost impossible to be able to tell where a wormhole leads.
I like that word almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sounds like a good roll.
Yeah.
It would
Yeah,
help
almost.
you more if the wormhole was still active. But now it's not. It's gone. Everything is gone. The star, the system has now gone.
Mm.
You are left with...
What about the
Yeah.
artifacts that we collected? Have they
the
changed in
artifacts.
appearance or behavior?
Well, as it happens, if you ask any of the folk who were trying to secure all of the cargo in the various cargo bays and shuttle bays, the archaeologists and crew members who were sorting through them said that they noticed glowing streamers of blue light that escaped the small channels that ran across the surface of many of the artifacts, whilst the sudden flare happened and the wormhole opened. Apparently, whilst you guys were busy trying to keep the ship flying and keep the warp core stable, the warp field stable, even though you were knocked out of space briefly, those who tried scanning the artifacts say that sensors did not show anything at first, but then all of a sudden alerts in the bay began to sound out as tricorders and even the main computer began to detect tears and fractures in subspace leaking through nearly all the artifacts. But these tears quickly healed and can now no longer be detected, and the artifacts are now all inert.
So we can't do anything with the artifacts because they have leaked their subspace tears. Ooh. Can we start trying to more intrusively, as in Havish style, reverse engineer and work out what on earth these things are? So not necessarily just scanning, start trying to disassemble them, these artifacts.
Well, the moment you try is the moment the chief of the civilian science operation, Dr. Al-Malki, objects strongly to any interference with the artifacts. However, he then issues a complaint minutes later, because apparently one or more of your crew went ahead and did it anyway. And apparently broke open some of the artifacts. The civilian scientists are now very strongly up in arms.
Are they not at least curious to see what was there? I mean, they're upset, but we can all now assess what the result, what data we've obtained by breaking one of these things.
Yes, well, the archaeologists and civilian scientists were going to conduct in-depth scans, which, you know, they were looking to spend months deconstructing and analyzing these things, whereas apparently some of your shuttle deck engineering crew just took essentially a screwdriver to the artifacts and broke them open.
Havish spanner. Okay.
Yes. So, Dr. Al-Malki and his civilian science crew are now protesting and are going to file a formal complaint.
It's justified.
At the breaking of some of these invaluable artifacts, especially since now they have been drained of what little spark of power they apparently had.
Would Trasa attempt to diffuse this tension peacefully without a formal complaint?
You can certainly give it a good old go, sure.
After that,
Diffuse the tension. So yeah, you're essentially making a presence and command roll here, but you get to roll 3 dice, because you can purchase an additional d20 for free.
Yep. Do I focus on inspiration? Or actually... Yeah, probably inspiration.
Yeah, inspiration is the closest, so yeah, sure.
I don't have negotiation.
Yeah, you haven't got negotiation or whatever. That's more Phlesk's bag, isn't it? So.
Yeah.
Diplomacy. Well, you know, you're captain.
Expert.
So.
Oh.
Expert
Order
negotiator.
Order of the battle. Indeed.
I have 1 left now.
Very, very, very on brand for
this
Klingon
group,
negotiation or Klingon diplomacy. Not going down very well.
She has a duck talk out the whole time. It's like, oops, sorry, that wasn't meant.
No, okay, so with those 3 successes, yes, you are able to talk to Dr. Al-Malki and his folk and persuade them that the complaint will be recognized, but by at least breaking open some of the artifacts in order to scan them their interiors more closely, you can determine whether or not there's any future threat of these things causing another subspace rift, perhaps, even on a small level, especially after what just happened. So it takes some finagling, but Dr. Al-Malki himself does back down. He says it's disappointing that they won't be able to examine those artifacts in their intact in their intact formation, and therefore might be able to gain an idea of what they might have been before they were just peeled apart. But it does come to Captain Trasa's attention that the over-eager shuttle bay crew that immediately broke open one of the artifacts even after it was said not to was Lieutenant Osborne.
Son of a...
Yeah, we almost went PG-13 there. Thanks.
Sabotage.
Sabotage.
I know, right?
But no, Phlesc does say we accept his thanks for rescuing all of his staff and some of the artifacts. Because he wouldn't have any of them.
Yeah,
they'd have been, yeah.
Trasa would call Osborne to her office to have a word with him.
Sure.
And have Phlesc with them.
Okay.
Neutral party.
It's the beard, right?
No. It's his calming personality.
I see. Gotcha.
Okay,
Okay.
so not a private. Ignore that gif.
There's a GIF now,
Yeah.
isn't there? Oh, I see.
Don't you have
You
an...
don't need to know. Okay.
Does Phlesc have enough wives?
He's a denobulin, they never have enough. Anyways. So, yeah, you can bring in Osborne for a swift chat. And he will just say, I was going along with the last order received, sir. Open up one of the artifacts and see if they're producing any more subspace rifts. I did that exactly as requested, sir. The fact that I may have received the order to abstain a bit late, well, that's not my fault, is it? Or are we suggesting that it is? So.
No. I just wanted your side of the story. I can't render judgment with half the story. You can understand.
Understandable, sir. Totally agree. Have to have both sides of the story. So.
You are dismissed, Lieutenant. Thank you for
sir.
relaying your side.
He
once he leaves. She's gonna look at Phlesc after he leaves. Well, what did you make of that? Think he's telling you the truth?
I hasten to note that Phlesc isn't in on the operation, as far as I know.
Yeah,
No,
I don't know.
No. She's just seeing if he believes that the order might have been a little late. Hey, like, just his ID. That's why he's a,
Okay.
I'm not
neutral party.
Yeah. He could be telling the truth. I'm not... In the enthusiasm and panic, given what's just happened, I can't entirely blame him, as I may have done the same thing. These things could have been very, very dangerous. I wouldn't want these to be taken to yet another planet and risk the same thing happening again. So I'm not entirely sure.
True. Yeah.
And he may just be trying to cover the fact he may have panicked, rather than just done something rather untoward, but rather acted hastily.
Yes, though
It's not conclusive, I'm afraid. Not for me.
That's the main reason why I brought you here. Neutral party and all, because we had a slight altercation when I first arrived back on this ship. Which I think only Gerkow and Dr. Sot and Garrow remember. Or were there.
Yeah. Phlesc is just a sort of... so, the excuse he gave is nothing I haven't heard from Tavish before, so... I don't think it's necessarily too much to be worried about.
The second you mentioned Tavish, you can tell that's been a very headache-driven problem.
I'd put this down more to some bad habits in acting first and then finding good reasons afterwards.
Yeah, I will note it in my logs of both sides of the story.
Okay. Anything else you want to get done?
Just to scan to see what's left. Is there any sort of residual radiation? There was just a wormhole appear. Has anything been left behind? I know a lot of stuff, if not everything, got sucked in. Is there nothing at all we can see or sense? Oh, so it's as if it was never there in the first place.
As if it was just picked up and moved. Or swallowed, I should say, yeah.
Can we leave a little beacon, like a
Sure.
probe, where it would have been,
Sure. Yeah.
the center of this star, as like a marker to refer to if we need to.
Alpha Toryui used to be here.
We could even leave Councillor Sykes there, so you can, get in touch telepathically.
Gonna leave her here. I see.
Leave
Okay.
her on a probe.
Damn!
Well,
No, leave her there.
Sensing
And it's a
hostility,
shuttlecraft.
Captain.
Be like, this is now your station. You are stationed here in the shuttlecraft, where the star used to be.
Launching her out
Comes
like
back.
Dr. Strangelove.
The poor girl. She's a victim of her own lack of success.
Honestly. But granted, I feel those. How many nat 20s have we gotten just today?
Well, yes, today has been somewhat adventurous, shall we say, in our distribution of 20s rolls. So, yeah.
And I'm going back and counting all of them. I'm up to 3.
It's probably more than that.
There's 5.
Yep, we had quite a collection today. All right. Okay. Well, so as it turns out, you guys blazed a trail through this episode well faster than I thought you would. So, yeah, you have actually reached the end of this episode a lot faster than I thought you might. So, well done on that. As such, unless there's anything specific that anybody wants to address at this point, leaving the beacon behind is a good idea. Starfleet Science and Civilian Science will more than likely want to conduct further investigations, but your initial scans, as I have already noted, are there used to be something here, there's nothing here now.
It also, like, having like a beacon there is just also as a warning that wormhole may appear.
Yes. Okay.
Don't get too close.
So that's fair and very reasonable assumption. So yeah, okay. So it looks like we're ending early today. So yeah.
Easy peasy, squeeze the lemon, just let the star blow up.
Well, yes, but this could have been a lot worse if you hadn't have been able to evacuate as many personnel as you did. Having the transporter system be altered so that you could beam up the inorganic stuff helped immensely. So that could have gone very wrong very quick, if not.
I was like, how can we get stuff up faster?
Transporters, absolutely.
Yeah, and plus it helps us use Zomvagor. Granted, we used a version of Zomvagor a lot in this episode, especially Virgin.
So yeah, you've used quite a few of your supporting cast this time, which is rather cool. So any want of throwing that talent for supporting characters again becomes incumbent upon them having 2 values. So if you can come up with a suitable second value for whoever you want to earn that talent in the future, then yeah, I'm more than open to you guys throwing me suggestions. But that can wait until after we're done here, which is what we're going to do now then. So yeah, just wrap this up with thank you to everybody who watched this. Thanks for Raldanash popping in as well. Cheers, mate. Thanks to my players, as per usual, for being awesome and highly entertaining. We will be taking, in this case, our usual inter-episode break next week. Not sooner than I expected, so yeah, so just check that you guys are available for in 2 weeks' time, which is the 26th of October.
Should be, I think.
Which, I hasten to note, is the weekend before Halloween. So I will see if I can dredge up a Halloween episode for you.
Oh.
For the
Also, I
26th.
think the clocks go back then.
Cool.
for the UK.
Okay, I'll try and remember. Try and keep that in mind.
Yeah, same here. Hopkins is going to look at Liang Zhang No more holodeck of
No more
scary stuff.
Yes, absolutely adamant that there'll be no holodeck holodeck retreats from Lianjiang this Halloween. No siree. Okay, no probs. We'll see what we can do.
She's probably like, but one time.
Yep. One time is all it takes. I've been doing this RPG malarkey long enough to know one mistake is all it takes, and the rest of the party will let you know about it every time. In any case, thank you very much for stopping along, folks. Those who did, I wish you all the best, and to do like the Vulcans do, which is live long and prosper. And in this case, maybe not pay too much attention to the whispers that you hear in the back of your mind. Definitely get help when that happens. But also definitely engage in infinite diversity and infinite combinations, especially in the day and age that we appear to live in. Indeed. And, you know, let's treat each other with kindness and respect, because that's the way that the human race survives into the future, in my opinion. Until next time, thank you very much for being with us, guys. We will see you hopefully in 2 weeks' time, maybe with a Halloween episode to give some spooks. Until then, healing frequencies are now closed.
I am probably going to use a lot of advancements because, dear Lord, I have too many of them.
Well, that's for after the stream ends. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.